Awesome. Welcome to the final session, the fifth session of our AWS Academy. During the last five weeks, we've actually been doing a duo class, a duo cohort of cloud architecting, AWS Academy Cloud Architecting, as well as the AWS Academy Cloud Foundations. So during this final session, what we're going to be doing is we're going to do several labs just to ensure that we get to the end of each and every guided lab within cloud architecting, as well as the labs within cloud foundations. So let's kick off without wasting any time. So let's get on to this. So hopefully my screen is being shared. Let me just confirm it on this slide. Good, I can see it. Awesome. So let's get on with this. Okay. Let me stop my video so that you can get on. So what you're going to be doing in this lab, we're going to be looking at Amazon CloudFront, as well as another service called Amazon Elastic Transcoder. So you can see what should we be able to achieve at the end of the lab. Should be able to create multiple bitrate versions of a given source media file using Amazon Elastic Transcoder, as well as be able to use Amazon CloudFront, be able to use Amazon CloudFront. I'm confirm something here. I'm missing something on my end. But yeah, the meeting controls went to the other side, and I don't want it there. I want it on this other side. Good. Awesome. So let's get on. So you should be able to do this, first of all, to be able to create multiple bitrate versions of a given source media file, which will be an MP4 file. And we're going to use the Amazon Elastic Transcoder service for that. Then we're also going to be able to use the CloudFront service to deliver the dynamic multi-bitrate stream, which has been created by Amazon Elastic Transcoder in the previous step. So this is how the architecture will look like. We'll be having an input file, which is coming from an S3 bucket. The input file will be used to create what we call an Elastic Transcoder job. Then the Elastic Transcoder will convert or maybe do what we call transcoding to what we call HLS output. When you look at here is HTTP live streaming, it's called HLS output, which is going to be stored into an S3 output bucket. So basically what we usually receive from the internet through streaming services is not really an MP4 file that is playing on the other side, but is usually what we call a transcoded output. Then this is going to be coming out of the S3 output bucket, then go through to CloudFront. So you can think of this like the way you think about Netflix. So as always, as a precursor, you always know that these are the general things. You remember you have service restrictions. Also click the start lab, usually standard. The first thing is to do the lab preparation. So you're going to be using a sample video file to configure dynamic stream. For convenience, an S3 bucket has already been created. That is fine for us. And then you're going to go to that. Let me just do this. So as it loads, should be able to go to S3 and see a bucket containing the string AWS training reinvent. Oh, reinvent is also coming in next week. Hope you've all registered. We're going to look at how it is done. I wish I could go to Vegas, but maybe later in the next coming years. Okay, so I'm going to S3. I'm looking for a bucket called AWS training event. So this is AWS training event bucket. I'll go to the input folder called a folder called input. Then it will contain a file called Amazon S3 sample.mp4. Note that from the time you log in, that is S3, it can take up to 10 minutes for the file to appear. You do not see it, select the circular arrow icon, so they just refresh. But we are hopeful. I started this lab even when I just joined in a long time ago a bit. So I'm hopeful that I'll find the file. Yes, it is here. So good. So we have the file, Amazon S3 sample. So what we are going to do first is going to create a CloudFront distribution. And basically what is a CloudFront distribution? It is used not only just in the streaming of dynamic content, it can also be used to make sure that there's very low latency for your websites by having users receive content from the nearest location from the Amazon CloudFront distribution net, usually what we call a content delivery network. There's a same case, we also have what we call a CloudFront distribution. So let's look at how we're going to be able to do this. We're going to go to CloudFront, we're going to create in the web sections, under the web section of the page, you're going to choose get started. Under origin settings, enter the following information. So you enter the and select the origin domain name field, and a list of buckets will appear. Choose the one that was created earlier, that is the one with that AWS training reinvent. Under restrict bucket access, select no. Scroll to the bottom and then you just create. So let's do that first. Let's go to CloudFront. For convenience, I'll actually open it in a new tab. So there it is. So let it load. Okay. So I'm going to create a distribution. So basically what a distribution is, it's actually an opportunity to make your content, or maybe whatever you want, to be more available through what we call caching in the nearest locations. So that will make it even globally or something of that sort. And again, origin domain, if I'm choosing that one, right? Origin path, which is optional. Origin access, public. Okay, we didn't have all these settings. Okay, additional settings that is not needed. Default cache behavior, which is default compress. Yes, what? Restrict. I'm looking for the one for restrict bucket. Function association. Did I choose get started? Okay. Was there get started? Sure, but I think this is still fine. These options are fine. So let's look at if there is a what we call restrict bucket access. It's optional, fine. It's not needed. I'm not seeing the bucket. Are you seeing it? We had done this. Yeah. So I think it's fine because it is public. So we are not restricting the bucket access. That is where it is. So I think these settings are under origin settings. There's nothing that we're changing there. We're not changing that. We are not we're choosing that, so it's fine. I'll just scroll to the bottom and just create the distribution. So they're not, all the others are leaving as default. So we do that. So here it is, you have the distribution usually given in that kind of format. Let's go to the next step of the guided lab. So we're going to create an Amazon Elastic Transcoder pipeline. So how do you create a pipeline? We're going to go to services, we look for that. So again, for purposes of ensuring that if I need to go back to CloudFront, let me just type transcoder. That will make my life easier. I've also never used this service. I'll be using it for the first time because it's not a core service. So really, so so in the navigation bar of the Elastic Transcoder console, there is the region that the S3 was created in. I think that should have been US. That is why it's good to remove here. Let's go back to the buckets. There. Yeah, US is to 1. US is 1. So am I going to first of all create a new pipeline? Yes, sure. In the navigation bar. This is the navigation bar. Wondering where there's a navigation, but it should be here maybe, which is actually US East 1. Not Virginia is usually US East 1. And yeah, Ohio is the one that is US East 2. So it's fine. Create a new pipeline. What are we calling the pipeline? Input pipeline. For input bucket, we'll select that. For IAM role under other roles, so we're going to select Amazon Elastic Transcoder role. So these are role that was now pre-created for us using the CF platform animation template that uses what we call the managed policy. So we're going to use these roles so that any service would actually need to assume a role so that it can have the permissions to access the bucket or any other service that it needs. So in the configuration for Amazon S3 bucket for transcoded files and playlist section, under bucket, select the AWS training reinvent S3 bucket. Under storage class, select standard. In the configuration for Amazon S3 bucket for thumbnails, enter the following. Under that, we still use the same bucket and storage class, reduce redundancy. And we just use create pipeline. So let's do that. Start with that one, that role, same bucket, standard for, is it standard for transcoded? I think this one is one for reduced redundancy. The others are optional, then just create the pipeline. Okay, let's get on with it. So I think the pipeline is done. So the next thing is obviously, I think, to create the job. So to create a job in this section, create a job for the Amazon Elastic Transcoder pipeline that was just created. So the job does the work of transcoding the input file. So that is what you have. You first of all create a pipeline within Elastic Transcoder. Then once you create the pipeline, you use now the pipeline to create a new job. To create a transcoding job, you create the job in the pipeline queue that you want to transcode. For pipeline, select input pipeline. For output key prefix, we'll enter. We are not entering the full stop, hopefully, I believe so. Amazon Transcoder will prepend this value to the names of the files that the job will create, including output files, thumbnails, and playlists. For input key, select the input file labeled input/Amazon S3 sample.mq, which you remember is the file that we found was added onto the pre-created S3 bucket during the lab formation. So I think that is all about creating the job. So let's do that. create a new job. Input pipeline, sure. Prefix, you're just going to put that. Input key, you're going to use that. Is there anything else? Decryption? No. I think that is that. Output details. Okay. Are we changing those? I don't think you're changing those. Or configure output details. Now we have now configuring the output. For preset, you're going to select the system preset, which is HLS 2M, which is doing what? 3 output files. So having 3 separate bit rates of 2 Mbps, 1.5 Mbps, and 1 Mbps. So you realize sometimes I realized when you try to stream live, when your network is good, it transitions dynamic content. It goes to the one that is higher value. If your network goes low, those kind of things. So you can see that is why you are talking about dynamic content. So each output bitrate will require you to create separate output details. Create a separate output details section. This will also output a playlist file for each bitrate, which lists all segments that make up the stream. So you don't have to really understand all these about streaming unless you have been assured of a job at Disney or Netflix or anything. But it's all about getting to understand that you're creating 3 output files, which is multi-bitrate. You remember when you're starting the lab. So for preset, HLS2M, which is 2 megabits per second, if I'm not wrong. Segment duration, enter 10, which is the HLS default. Output key, we're going to use a unique prefix. That. Click add another output and repeat the steps above to generate segments for HLS on 1.5, generate 15, then 10. Do not create the job yet. Instead, complete the next few steps, which will have you add a playlist to the job. Okay, we're not going to create the job yet. So the person, HLS, right? HLS 2M, there it is. Segment duration, what is the segment duration? 10, or sure. 10. Output key, I think that is that, right? Yeah. I'm going to use 15 and 10. And these ones, we leave it like that. Add another output. HLS 15M, it is 1.5. Still 10. They're going to use
if it's for video,
right?
I think it's for
Then you scroll down,
HLS
add another output. HLS 1M. What the hell is here? Are you using HLS video or HLS?
We're not using video.
Does it have to be video?
No.
No. Doesn't have the word video. Did the first one have a video? Yeah, here we made a mistake. Is HLS. Okay, even this one. HLS 2M. Here also HLS 1.5M. You should really be paying attention to detail. HLS 1M. Still segment duration is 10, HLS default, output key, I think, yeah, are you using 10? Yes, 10. I think we are done with that part, but we've been told not to create the job yet. So we're going to configure a playlist. A playlist will combine the individual bitrate playlists to provide a single URL for the devices to play back the stream. To configure a playlist, do the following. Under playlist, adaptive streaming, choose add playlist, then configure playlist name to be primary, a playlist format to be HLS version 3. So we copy that. Don't worry, I'm super lazy with typing today. It's early in the morning. The Saturday, I have like 6 events today to take part in, including this one, and some two in-person events, and like 3-4 virtual events. So forgive me if I appear not ready to type. Okay, so where are we? Playlist, add playlist. Playlist name, I think it's primary, version 3. What else? Outputs in master. Select all the 3 outputs which were entered in the previous and include them in this playlist by selecting the plus option. Choose create new job. So tap, tap, and tap. And that is done. And we now create the job. Let's just counter check if there's anything else. Yeah, we're done. So create the job so that the job starts. There it is. So let's go on test playback. Complete within a minute. Fine. Okay. In this module, we'll test the playback of the dynamic stream generated in the previous section using what we call an iOS or Android device. You can use an Android 4.x to test the below exercise. Certain browsers may not support this feature. Use the default browser in the device to test. Okay, construct a playback URL. The playback URL that plays through Amazon CloudFront is comprised of 2 components: Amazon CloudFront domain name and path to the playlist, part of the playlist file, the S3 bucket. Output generated by is the output generated by Elastic Transcoder. So first of all, we'll obtain the CloudFront domain name. So I need to go back to CloudFront. Distribution status has changed in progress to deployed. For you, proceed to the next step only the status changes to deployed. So let's look. It was what? What is the status? First of all, where is it? Where's the status? Yeah. Enabled. Shows enabled. So is it deployed? That is the other thing. Okay, let me just do this. I think maybe I should get that out first. I'm not getting it. So let me just go into it. Okay, so where do I get? Where do you usually get? I think this is the CloudFront domain name. This file, this is the one it is. So the distribution by selecting the square box, copy the domain name, choose distribution settings. Okay, good. Okay, fine. Just do, oh, where am I? Wow, I hope I've not created another job. Oh, job is already complete. Let's go to CloudFront. Let's go to distributions. I've been told to do this the way you do it. Okay, but I'm not seeing. I think that was the last previous interface. is the new interface, which is like this. This is the domain name which we want. So you need to copy it into a text editor. Me being a VS Code person, prefer to using that. So I'll copy it on this side. I know you can see that, but I've copied it. Okay. What else do I need to do? Obtain the playlist file path. Go to S3, go to the AWS training event, S3 bucket, select the output folder which contains output of the transcoding job, and select the primary.m3u8 playlist file. This is a file that you play on your mobile device. Next, you must create a URL to the file from CloudFront. The text editor constructs the URL by outputting at the end of your CloudFront domain. Obviously, as I've told you, I'm lazy to type that, and obviously, why would you type that? Already constructed it. Okay, I can do it on a browser. Okay, so here it is. The stream should start playing on the device and then make a request for telephone segments. Yeah, regarding your bandwidth and CPU conditions. So let's see whether these will work. Is it downloading the file? Damn. So if I open it, what happens? Where does, oh, okay. The one called primary.
At the bottom.
Here it is. Okay, I don't know whether mine should play, but it has downloaded it. Maybe I should do it on a mobile device. So we've been able to use that, we've been able to use that, we've been able to create a transcoder pipeline, and we've been able to use it. But what the hell, I'm really curious to play it. So let me just send the URL to my mobile device. I can share with you. Anyone who is here and using their mobile device to access this class, let me just put it on the chat. Maybe it might work for you. So I need to send myself that. So I hope the course has been awesome for you so far. Sorry, URL. I'm sending myself the URL. Anyone whose URL has worked? I don't know whether mine has worked. I should be able to submit this work, and I'm sure it will work. But let me just, since I'm curious, don't know whether you're usually curious like I am, need to see whether it's really going to work on yeah, it has worked. Awesome. You can hear it, right?
Saw that there is a free training and free self-paced lab on Amazon S3. Have you heard about Amazon S3?
Sure. Amazon Simple Storage Service, also known as Amazon S3, is safe, secure, highly scalable object storage in the cloud.
Nice.
It can be used to store and retrieve any amount of data at any time from anywhere on the web.
Why do people need storage in the cloud?
It makes it easy to store as much data as you want and access it when you need it, and you avoid having to buy hardware and paying for storage that isn't being used.
Okay, it has worked, and I can't wait to watch the video for 6 minutes. I really feel that I shouldn't, but I say, let me just, I think this is a good video. I need to download it. Where is it? Where's that video? I'll download it and watch it later. Where is the video? The video is under input. An interesting video. Yeah, I hope some of you don't know. I don't know if William had done the lab and you watch the video. Very interesting one. Okay, let it download. Network is funny today. Would have downloaded that like a long time ago. Anyways, I think I can submit my work. I asked the academy guys to see whether they can add this feature to the CF class. It's a fine feature. It really helps you to know whether you've done the right thing. So I was usually wondering why am I getting .ts files? Just because of the transcoder. Yes, so I've got another marks. If I want to go to more details, I can just go to use the submission report. I'll be able to see I was able to create a CloudFront distribution. I created the pipeline within Elastic Transcoder. I chose the correct storage class of standard within for transcoded files and playlists. The correct storage class was chosen for thumbnails, which was reduced redundancy, if I'm not wrong. The output key prefix was correct, which is output slash. I think output slash. All of the selected presets are correct. I did remember I was using HLS 1M, 15M, and all that. The correct playlist format was selected, which is also version 3, as well as primary. The expected outputs were found on the for the playlist. Then it sent the grid file to a certain mount. Yeah. So that is that. So that makes it. Unless there's any question on that, I think I'll now end that lab. Okay. That was pretty much it. Wow, time has flown. It's already getting to 9. Okay, let's get to another. I don't know how many labs are left for this CA class because today is our final class. Let me just see whether I can do another one. Awesome, module 12 doesn't have anything. Module 13 is optional. I'll not do anything optional. I'm implementing a serverless architecture using AWS Lambda. Okay. Any other? Disaster does it, I'm sure. Okay, disaster as an guided lab. So these are 2. Yep. So we have 2 labs left. So we can quickly run those labs very fast. Any questions you'll ask me later. So let's see. let's see how we can run with this and finish all those guided labs that are not optional, obviously. And also hope the challenge labs are also challenging you to think. So let's look at how we do implement. So serverless is one of the hot topics in cloud. You have even a dedicated website for AWS called Serverless Land, if you're not sure. Serverless Land, where people are actually giving resources for serverless. So if you have time, you can just check what is there. Very, very, very resourceful website. And some people even creating content. You can be part of those who create content for serverless land. When it gets to that. Okay. So let's get on with it. I think I need to just log out of this. Log out of this other lab. Be able to have started the lab. Wow. I have to refresh it because it's not showing the options. These are what we call patterns. The function with X-ray. Just check this pattern. So X-ray is a service that helps you monitor the execution of code. We can just see there. Oh, that is how it works. You can download like that. You can do CDK deploy. So it can give you just an understanding. Those are the guys who created it. Awesome. So let's get on with it. Start lab. Move the terminal. I don't need it. So what are we doing here? You're going to create an inventory tracking system. Stores from around the world. We'll upload an inventory file to S3. Your team wants to be able to view. The team wants to be able to view the inventory levels and send a notification when inventory levels are low. So what are you going to do in this lab? We're going to upload an inventory file to an S3 bucket. Then this upload should trigger a Lambda function, which will read the file as well as insert the items that are in the file into an Amazon DynamoDB table. A serverless web-based dashboard application, which will use Amazon Cognito to authenticate to AWS. Then the application will gain access to the DynamoDB table and display the inventory tables like a front end kind of a thing. So another Lambda function will receive the updates from the DynamoDB table, and this function will send a message to an SNS, simple notification service topic, when the inventory item is out of stock. The Amazon SNS will then send you a notification through a short message service, SMS or email, to request for additional inventory. Okay. So as you can see, sometimes in the earlier days, applications used to just run on servers, which can be either physical or even virtual environments that run into physical servers. Personally, like what I knew was cloud. Was the only thing I knew was about VMware and VirtualBox. That is what I only knew was virtual. But these days, the power of the cloud has made things change. Over the last 5 weeks, we've looked at several services. all of them are created to solve different business use cases. And as you look at them, as you understand them, it now becomes actually almost intuitive to know which service will you use to solve which problem, right? So that is also something very, very important as you move on towards becoming not only just a solutions architect or a developer, but just looking at the bigger picture as one person who is making the world a better place. So you can see, first of all, you need to remember that in the earlier days, in the traditional way, you must purchase and provision all the these types of servers. You must manage not only the capacity, the power requirements, their air conditioning requirements, their security, physical security requirements, all those kind of requirements you needed to think about them, right? But now in contrast, you can run your code in AWS Lambda without needing to even pre-allocate the server. So what will Lambda do? You'll only need to provide the code and define what we call the trigger. The Lambda function can run when it is needed, whether it is once per week or 100 of times per second, that you only pay for what you use. You only pay for, you don't pay for a long running EC2 instance or something of that sort. But remember, again, considering your requests, you must take into account, because you have to compare the costs. Then, so you'll be able to see this, how to trigger a Lambda function, and a file is uploaded onto S3, and then the file is loaded onto a DynamoDB. The data will be available in a dashboard a page that retrieves the data from the DynamoDB. Then the solution does not use EC2. It is a serverless solution that automatically scales when it is used. It also incurs little cost when it is in use. When it is idle, there is practically no cost, because you will only build for data storage. Good. After completing this lab, you'll be able to implement a serverless architecture in AWS. Should be able to trigger Lambda functions from S3 and DynamoDB. Configure the SNS to send notifications. So this is what you'll do. You can see you'll be able to upload an inventory file to an S3 bucket. This will now trigger a Lambda function to read the inventory file and upload it, insert the items into a DynamoDB table. Then you realize that there's going to be a dashboard application that will be using Amazon Cognito for authentication to be able to access the DynamoDB table. And then you're going to have this Lambda function, which will be able to receive some of the table updates. And if no inventory is found, maybe an SMS, it forwards that into a SNS topic. The SNS topic will now send maybe an SMS notification or an email. So I clicked on Start Lab. So these are the standard things. So let's start by creating the Lambda function. This is where we are. So I go to Lambda. I think I'd logged out, so this should be pretty much frictionless. Just close that. Also close this serverless land. We go to Lambda. Good, you can see it here. So we even have other serverless services such as Amplify, something that you can also check out. But one of the core AWS services on serverless is, and serverless doesn't mean no servers, it just means you're not thinking about the servers. You as the user are not thinking, or you as the end user, you don't care about the servers, the update, the kind of OS they run on. But again, still Lambda requires servers, just that you don't think about it. Okay. So we have what we call blueprints, which are called templates for writing Lambda functions. They are provided for standard Lambda triggers, such as creating Amazon Alexa skills and processing Amazon Kinesis data firehose streams. Those are some of the examples. So this lab will provide you with a pre-written Lambda function. So you'll use the author from scratch option. So let's go to create function. So you can use a blueprint. This is what they're talking about. You can search for them. You can see these ones: kinesis, getting started with Lambda HTTP, modifying HTTP response header. There are like 49 of them right now. But again, we are authoring from scratch. So where are we getting the Lambda? Function name is called load inventory. I'm too lazy to type that. We're going to use Python 3.7. Always very important to ensure that you're in the right. Choose or create an execution role. We'll use an existing role, Lambda load inventory role. So this is a role that will give the Lambda function will assume. Once it assumes that role, should be able to access the S3 as well as the DynamoDB. So the name of the function, Python 3.7. We're going to get that for sure. Architecture, I think we haven't been told to change anything there. So going to use an existing role here. They pre-created, I think it's load inventory role. Are we doing anything on advanced settings? Choose create function. Scroll down to the code. To the code what? To the code. So section, and in the inventory, choose lambda function.py. The source code source editor creates the following. So it's going to import a file. Usually what we call about O3, usually what we call how to connect to S3. So you usually use these boto3 dot resource S3, DynamoDB boto3 dot resource DynamoDB. So we're going to connect to S3 as well as DynamoDB. Connect to the DynamoDB table. So we're going to use the inventory table. Then these are function. If you understand Python, you already know these are function. It has two arguments, event and context. So these are lambda handler. So show the incoming event in the debug log. So print event received from that. So you're going to just ensure that it adds these to the debug log so that you get to, if there's any issue, you do some debugging using that. Get the bucket and object key from the event. So it's going to check on that. It's going to give the bucket name as well as the key. And also it's going to assign all these is variable assignments for that. Then download the file from S3 to the local file system. So to the local file system within the lambda function, right? So you can see it's going to do using the try catch. Is it try catch or try and exception? So it's going to use the try just to see whether it can be able to do. If there's a problem, it's going to print the exception or the error, and then it's going to raise that exception. So you can see the exception is as E. Usually a standard, that is how we do the exception. So you can see it's going to be that. Then read the inventory CSV file, then take the CSV file, get its content and read each row, and then show the row in the debug log. Then insert into the inventory table all of that. Unless there's a problem, there's going to be an exception which is going to be raised, which is unable to insert data into DynamoDB table. Then once it finishes, it's going to return the number of rows it has inserted. So yes, you can see this is what you are being told. Let me just copy this. Obviously, I can type it out. Okay. So let's create the function. So there it is under code. This is our area of interest. We're going to use the lambda port.py. Let's let it load. Hope so far so good. So yeah, it is. I think I'm just going to just delete everything here. What has happened? Okay. I'm told to use keyboard. Yeah. So I'll deploy. Okay. Oh, did I do the right thing? I think I just, yeah, I think usually do that. It's just that I also understand, sorry. I usually do it. So deploy. And then you're going to configure the S3 to trigger, configuring an Amazon S3 event. So you're here. So you just did this one. You're going to here. So go to services, S3, create bucket. So I'll not go away from this inventory function. So just do this. Then I open it in a new tab. So what am I going to do? I'm going to create a bucket. So I'll just use the inventory hyphen, then I'll put my account ID. Usually I run almost as unique as possible. Still loading. Create bucket. So usually, as I told you, personally, I prefer using the account ID. Sometimes it really helps solve issues. You'll be very sure you don't have to come back there. Then what else am I supposed to do with it? The creation process? Nothing else. Choose the name, properties, scroll down to inventory, event notifications, create event notification, name load inventory. Event types, all object create events, destination to a lambda function, and which is the lambda function, load inventory, then we save changes. Good, which is fine. Then we're going to test the loading process. Okay, let's do that very fast. So let's create a bucket. So here we use our bucket. You go to properties, then event notifications. Event notifications. Here it is. Then I'm going to create an event notification. I'm going to call it load inventory. Prefix and suffix are optional. All object create events. Destination is a lambda function. I'll choose the load inventory. I think I'll save changes. So we'll now upload and see that it has loaded successfully. Oh, I have to upload all this. Okay, fine. Ah, damn, I've clicked on it. What will I do? Look back will work. Oh, good. What was that last one? Shanghai, Springfield. Okay, in a console, return to S3 by choose upload add files. Select one of the, you can choose any inventory file, upload. S3 will automatically trigger a Lambda function that will load the data. A serverless dashboard application has been provided for you to view the results. At the top of these instructions, use the details. At the right of AWS, choose the show button. Okay, let's do the first thing first. Let's just do this. Let's go to objects, upload. I mean, I'm just uploading in. I couldn't have downloaded all of them, but it's fine. Add files. Okay. Did I have to do that? Let me just do that. So I hope it has been triggered. So under details, I'll say show. This is the dashboard. Hope you knew that trick. Did you know that trick? It is. You can see Shanghai. I think that is the one I did. Okay. Maybe let me upload the other one. Let me upload another one. Let me upload like 2 of them. Springville, Busan, Karachi. So all this is happening very fast. So if I refresh this, you see all of them, they are here now. Busan. And all these are coming from the DynamoDB table on this dashboard. Okay. Okay. So we have that. Doesn't show, you can ask me, but since I'm the one doing it, does not have any problem. As a static web page from Amazon S3, the dashboard authenticates via Amazon Cognito as an anonymous user. The services choose Dynamo left navigation pane, choose tables, choose item tabs in the data inventory, shows the store and the inventory. So let's go to DynamoDB and see all these things. So DynamoDB, is it an NoSQL or an SQL? Who knows? The answer is there. It's an SQL. So it is a NoSQL. It is a non-relational. Just uses that. So it's from Amazon. There it is. Okay. So been told to go to tables. I show you this. You can see it as item count. Doesn't have anything. This is interesting. Items tab. Doesn't have any item. Are they sure? Am I on the wrong table? Or is it saying that it is not, does nothing? This is weird, right? Because the inventory has, no, this is coming from DynamoDB. I'm really wondering. Yeah, this is where it is. You go to explore items. Or was I going to the wrong thing? Choose the items tab. In these steps are not showing it. But here they are. You can see Shanghai, all these are Shanghai, all these are Karachi, all these are Springfield, all these are Busan, according to what I added. Okay. So let's say if I edit the echo second gen from 13 to 14, you'll be able to see that echo second gen for Shanghai is 13. If I refresh it. Shanghai, I can see it has updated, right? Awesome. So that's proof enough to show that it is loading from the inventory DynamoDB. So let's now configure notifications, which is very interesting. The first time I ever did an SMS and it sent me an email, I felt so happy. So those, so usually use the simple notification service. You go to go to create a topic called Nostoc, next step, scroll to the bottom, create topic, the lower half of the page, create a subscription, protocol email, enter your email address, choose create subscription. So that you receive a confirmation, open the email, confirm subscription. That sawa. So let's do that very fast. SNS, if you just type SNS, it's going to understand what you're seeing. And I usually prefer new tabs because I might be told to go back to a certain service and I don't want to load it again and again and again. Okay. Remember, I copied it. Dealing with any other thing. Okay, then subscription filter, still all these are optional. Create a subscription. Let me check my email on the other side and refresh so that I can subscribe to it. You get this, you get something like this. Let me just show you this a bit. This is how it will look like. You can see that you have chosen to subscribe, so you confirm the subscription. Then you say subscription confirmed. Successful subscribed. Good. That is how it looks like. Okay, so we are done with the subscription. Now we go to the next step, creating the SNS topic as well as creating the subscription. Create a Lambda function to send the notification. So allow me not to read all through all these. You will just check it at your own time because of time. So I'll go to services. I'll create a function. So we are here. We are creating this Lambda function. We've already done all the other parts. So creating a Lambda function to receive table updates and send a message is sent. So the function name is called check stock, still a Python 3.7 function, running on Python 3.7, that is runtime. Existing Lambda check stock role, which was pre-created for us. Code source, and then use that. You're going to use this stock check. So it's still using the same event received. For that, it will check and then check message that store is out of stock of this item. Connect to SNS, then to go to the alert topic, no stock, that, then it's going to publish the message to SNS, then it's going to finish that. So let's create the function. You can see the reason why I didn't want to close this. So I can just go to function. I create another function. I go to call it that. It's a Python 3.7. Then default execution, I'll use an existing role, the check stock role from IAM. Then I'll create the function. Then I'll copy the code. I'll use a command or a keyboard shortcut to avoid issues. So here it is. I'll go to the code. I think it's loading from my end. There it is. Save, deploy, so that we save. Scroll to the designer section, add trigger. Trigger is DynamoDB, table is inventory, and choose add. Then we test. So scroll up. I'll go to add a trigger. And then we say it is DynamoDB. Table is inventory. And I think I'll just leave the rest. So there's an item with 0 inventory. Which was that one? I really hope one has. I don't think I uploaded Karachi, but let me see. I did upload Karachi. So which one have I not uploaded? Have I uploaded all of them? There are 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'll do something crazy.
I think you haven't downloaded all of them.
Okay, no, not do that. Were they 4 of them only? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's Calcutta. It was Calcutta. Oh, good. Thanks. Mine, William, we're going to see what yours is showing, and why you're getting an empty dashboard. let's do the Calcutta first. Then let's finish up on, because we are at the tail end of the lab. Then I will troubleshoot you. So let me upload Calcutta. Obviously, is that Calcutta? Okay, I'm trying to avoid showing my downloads, which is quite large. So Calcutta is up. I really hope Calcutta had a 0 inventory. Let's look at it. It is a TXT file. Okay, anyway, was it a TXT? I thought it was a CSV. All of them are TXT files. Let me just check. Were they TXT? Here they were all TXT files. Yours is HTML. No, that is where the problem is, William. When you right click, you can see, where are you downloading them? Where it is? Where is it? Up here, up. Oh, what the hell? I've just gone back. Sorry, let my lab load. Still going on. Good thing is nothing is going to be lost. Move the terminal. So this is where we were. How are you downloading? So don't download, like, I don't know, don't say save. Okay, don't use mine. Mine might look funny. Don't say save pages or something of that sort. Mine is Mac, so it might be different from yours. But save, I don't know whether it's save linkers or something, but you use save linkers and make sure you save it. Don't save as .html, or don't add the extension. So when you say save linkers, when it shows you the pop-up, you just choose the destination. For example, you can see it's going to now create a second version of inventory Berlin. But I don't want that. So that is how you download. So they're saying it's a CSV. I'm finding it weird that it is a TXT. They are not CSV files, all these. Okay, mine is okay, it's showing that it is a CSV, but mine was saved as a TXT, which is fine. It has worked. But I think when you download, okay, the other way you can do it is you can right click, copy link address, open it in a new tab, okay, and paste that. You can see that. Okay, it's already, okay, I don't know whether you can use Internet Download Manager or whatever it is, or you can just copy this and save it as a C. Okay, but it's not going to really work. But find ways, just find ways, or you can just save linkers and use .csv. Find ways to survive. Okay, where am I? I was about to do, I've done Calcutta. So where was I? I think I was here. I did that, I saved that, we are uploading. The inventory dashboard, you should refresh. Okay, I went too far. I did all the stores, but let's look at our dashboard. Here's our dashboard, it is here. I really hope Calcutta had something. Let's just refresh. Had a 0 inventory, that is. Yes, it had 1, awesome. Since it had 1, I'm very sure that the Lambda function to check the stock was triggered and an SNS notification was sent to my email. Let me just confirm that that happened. Yes, I got it. Yeah, it is. Let me just show you guys. Here it is. Inventory alert. Calcutta is out of stock of Echo 2nd Gen. Let me try to do something crazy from my DynamoDB. Let me just take away my email from your view. Get it out of there. Okay, let me do something crazy. Let me go to another store like Busan. and make sure that the Amazon tab is 0. Amazon tab. Let's go to Busan. Sounds weird, but let's use that one. Okay, not here, on DynamoDB. Let's go to Busan, Amazon tab. I'll edit it and make sure it goes to 0 stock. Let me see whether something will happen. Whether something will happen. Yes. Yes. Almost instantaneously. You can see Busan is out of stock of Amazon tab. You see that? Isn't that beautiful to see what you've done work? Let's try one more. Let me just go to, let's go to Shanghai, and we do the echo look to be 0. And just like that, I get the notification. You see that Shanghai is out of stock of echo look 0 minutes ago from Amazon SNS. So it's working, which is fine, which is awesome. So I think we are done. We can submit our work. So William, would you want, do you still have that problem? Maybe if you uploaded HTML files, that is where the problem started. Maybe you can tell us whether you sorted it, or if not, you can share your screen. Tell me whether you want to share your screen. So you can say I got all the points, which is pretty much fine. So at the end of it all, you were able to do all that. Yeah, so if you upload the exact files, everything will work for you. And you'll be able to test those notifications. So without further ado, one more lab, then we go to CF. The final lab, the final guided lab, that is. I'm sure the CA has been quite a roller coaster. So this is, we're going to learn about disaster planning, which is very important because we should be able to plan for anything that can go wrong. So in this guided lab, you're going to do the hybrid storage and data migration. So did I end the lab? Okay, did I really end the lab after submitting? I don't think so. We just go back to that lab. I have to end that lab. So that is how serverless works. I can use Lambda functions and all that is there. So William, I hope you'll be able to do that, or if you need guidance, you can tell me on that. So I'll end the lab now to make sure life is easy when I go to the other lab. You can still use the learner lab to see how you can be able to recreate all these and have it on your long running learner lab offering. So I think I'll end the lab here. I think I did that. So I think I'll just get out of that. Then I'll log out. And close all these other tabs. Okay, let's run with this. We do the final lab, we go to CF. I don't know how much of CF we have left, but I'll see whether I can do 2 labs from there. Then we can call it a cohort. So where are we? Planning for disaster. Hybrid storage and data migration with AWS storage gateway, file gateway. Hope it's not a big lab. Sounds intimidating, but it must be a very nice lab. So you'll allow me, because of time, not to read all this, but you should be able to read what you need to achieve. Always very important to read this so that you know what you need to have done by the end. So you should be able to configure a file gateway with an NFS file share and attach it to a Linux instance, migrate a set of data from a Linux instance to an S3 bucket, create and configure a primary S3 bucket to migrate on-premise server data to AWS, and create a secondary S3 bucket to use for cross-region replication. Yeah, cross-region replication is very important. And I think it's something that always appears within solutions architect. Then we're also going to create an S3 lifecycle policy to automatically manage the data in a bucket. Create an S3 lifecycle policy. So the lifecycle policy, if you remember before, can help you transition from different storage classes. Let's say use what we call intelligent tiering. Go to infrequent access, one zone, infrequent access, and all those kind of tiers, storage classes. Wow, 90 minutes. This means it's a crazy lab, but I'm going to see whether I'm going to do it in less than 30 minutes. If I rush, you can always check on YouTube and make me go slower. I think I should have clicked Start Lab a long time ago, which I didn't, but here I am. I've clicked it. So what I will do, these are the standard instructions, so you don't have to go through them again. So it should review. This lab environment has a total of 3 AWS regions. So we're going to be using US East 1, which will emulate the on-premise service server that is deployed to the US East 1 North Virginia region. The storage gateway virtual appliance is deployed to the same region as the Linux server. In a reload scenario, the appliance would be deployed in a VMware vSphere or a Microsoft Hyper-V environment or a physical storage gateway appliance. So that is how it would be in a reload scenario. The primary S3 bucket is created using in ES East 2. Data from the Linux source is copied to the primary S3 bucket. The bucket can also be called the source. So we're going to call it the source. The secondary is going to be in the US West 2 region, the Oregon region. For cross-region replication, that is, this secondary bucket is the target for cross-region replication policy and can be also called the destination. So this is how the architecture would be. So we have the 3 regions, East 1, East 2, and West 2. East 1 has the instance, the NFS file share, the storage gateway service, the file gateway instance, how you get to the primary S bucket, as well as cross-region replication bucket, which is in the second availability zone. I mean the second, not second availability zone, but second region. This is another region. These are 2 availability zones, and these are an availability zone in another region. So creating the primary and secondary S3 buckets. So you go to create bucket, to create a name. It must be globally unique. How are they making me now think about a name? I'm going to call it William. I'm going to combine it with William and Ruth. If you're both of you here. Okay. I'm going to call it William Ruth. I'm sure there shouldn't be a bucket call like that in the whole world. Okay, US is 2 in Ohio. Bucket versioning enable. Cross region, you must enable versioning for both source and the destination. So you're going to enable versioning in both. Choose create bucket. Repeat the previous and create a second bucket. Yeah, I've gotten a good idea to make this thing. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go to it is still creating it. Anyway, let's see whether it must be already. The S3 part of things should be ready. So the source bucket, I'll call it William Ruth, and the other one I'll call it Ruth William. Let me see whether that will work. The source bucket. So the source bucket should be in what? Ohio. Ohio, then the destination should be in Oregon. Ohio. Must enable versioning. Don't forget this part. I repeat, I called Ruth Williams. This is the destination. Then I call it, it's going to where? Oregon, right? Then I still enable versioning, must be enabled on both the source and the destination. Then I save it. I'll go back to the source. So you create a bucket in different regions, which is fine. Remember when you're within S3, I realized something. Here it's global, right? Yeah. Shows you everything in all the other globally. So this is the source. Go to properties. Is it property? I'm feeling it's not property. Yeah, not cost. Okay, I think my head is starting to feel tired. So enabling cross region, name on under management, create replication rule. I'll call it CRR full bucket. And then enabled source bucket. I'll say apply to all destination. I'll say browse S3 CRR role. Okay. Fine. So here we are under management. I was just reading those things. Create replication role. I'm calling it CRR full bucket, enable source bucket, which is William Roth. Apply to all objects, right? Specify or choose a bucket in this account, which is fine. I'll browse S3. I'll choose the You did it, Ruth William, right? The destination. And then I'll choose the IAM role. Choose which one? I have to go back. I forgot it. S3 CRR. So S3 cross-region replication role. It has been pre-created for us. Here it is. Save. Save submit. Cross-region replication is done. So I'll upload a file where we created in the Ohio. Select a link to the Ohio. Is Ohio the source, right? Ohio is William Roth, right? Let's confirm first. Yeah, William Roth. So you're uploading anything. The good thing is we have some TXT files. I didn't want to show you these. Okay, William, what was with Oregon? I think maybe I didn't check the chat. That is now when I'm checking. The chat is on my other screen. Anyway, hopefully I was, yeah, it was Oregon. I remember the question that I was asking myself that time. And I think you also helped with the answer. So I've uploaded the Calcutta. If you don't know, I love Calcutta. So I've uploaded a file there. Return to the link you created in the, I've done that. Add files, wait for the file to load. Return to the bucket you create in the Oregon and refresh, then you can be able to see. Yeah, so that is what CRR does. So when you go back to, so the file has succeeded uploading. I'll close this menu. When I go back to the other bucket, Ruth William, you see it is here already, but I didn't upload it here. Remember, I uploaded it in Ohio, but when you go to Oregon, it has also been replicated here. Do you see that? Yeah, so CRR is working. Configure the file gateway and creating NFS file share. Configuring the file gateway. So we'll deploy the file gateway appliance as an EC2 instance. You then configure a cache disk and select an S3 bucket to synchronize your on-premise files to, and select an IAM policy to use. Finally, create an NFS file share on the file gateway. Wow, that's a lot. Anyway, let's start. Storage gateway. I will go to the storage gateway console. At the top of the right, the current, confirm that the current region is North Virginia. Then you create gateway. I'm going to call it file gateway. Gateway time zone should be GMT -5. Okay. Eastern time. S3 file gateway. Host platform, choose Amazon EC2. Then choose the launch instance, a new tab with EC2. The link will automatically select the correct that must be used. That's a lot. I think we get to here. Let's get to here. Okay. Storage gateway. Here it is. So remember the bigger picture. All these that we are doing so that we can be able to plan for disaster recovery, right? Let's say a whole region goes down. So how do you prepare for disaster recovery? And remember, that is not the work of AWS, it is your work as a solutions architect to ensure that as you create a solution for a client or a customer, or as you architect a solution, you also plan for disaster recovery. So create a gateway, file gateway, GMT -5, so Eastern. time Amazon S3 file gateway, host platform EC2. Customize, launch. The launch instance screen, begin configuring the gateway file gateway appliance, AMI from catalog, accept the default AWS storage gateway AMI. That is fine. I'm told to just accept this, which is fine. Instance type is T2X large. This is a rare. So T2.x large. This one. As for 4 virtual CPUs and 16 GB of memory, wow, that's a pretty powerful EC2 instance. Oh, where am I? Okay. Key pair required, choose the VOC key, configure on-prem VPC, on-prem subnet, auto-assign public IP, enable firewall, select existing. For common security groups, select the security group with file gateway access in the name. Wow. Also select the security group with on-prem SSH access. Wow. To mess up this, you're going to be in deep shit. So let me just not jump things. SSH, then I go to network. VOC key, remember? Wow, time is flying. Damn, it's already 10 and I haven't looked at CFs. Just laughing here. Somebody said, let me not share that. My video might have to be public later after we're done with this cohort. They don't want to be heard speaking weird things. So a network we edit, VPC, on-prem VPC, on-prem subnet, auto-assign public IP, fine. Select existing security group. We're going to choose the one that has what? The 2 file gateway access, as well as on-prem SSH access. So if you want to, as you're doing the lab, you can analyze, be curious. What is that security group having in terms of the rules? What are the inbound rules? What are the outbound rules? So that you're going to. So the storage add new volume, set the EB 150, so the size of it, 150 GB. Finish creating 150. Wow, fine. This is quite a big instance. Add a new volume, 150 here. Then I think everything is done. It's long the instance. As it loads, let's go to other things. Monitor the status, select the file gateway in the details, collocate the, we'll use this IP address when you complete the file gateway deployment. Return to the AWS storage gateway tab in your browser. You should still be at the setup gateway on the Amazon EC2. check the box that I completed all the steps above and down this in situ instance, then choose next. Okay, then configure step 2. So you're going to be here. So as the EC2 instance is launching, you can go to view all instances. The status checks can continue, but we need to know the public IPv4 address for the file gateway appliance, which is already given here. Just save it to my VS code. Where's my VS? Where's my VS? Okay, it's here. Pasting it, done. Sorry, what did I just do? What happened to your screen? Yeah, it has appeared. I go back to this. I see I completed all the steps above and launched. Now we are here, step 2. Service endpoint, select publicly accessible. In the gateway connection options, paste the IPv4. Choose next, review, next, configure, deactivate logging, deactivate alarm, choose configure. Then we'll wait. Then after the processing is complete, go to allocated to, select cache. Da, da, da. So what are we starting with? Endpoint publicly accessible. I don't think we are doing FTIPS enable. Just getting crazy. Anything? Are we changing anything on gateway? I think that is fine. Next, review and activate. Next, configure. Configure gateway. You should be able to deactivate logging and alarms. Then after that, I think you're going to go to cache. Oh, it's loading. Oh, you have to wait a minute for this. Oh, this is where the cache is coming. Save changes, start creating a file share. Wait for the file gateway status to change to running approximately, which is 1 to 2 minutes. From the left side panel, choose file shares. Then once you create a file share, on the file share settings configuration screen, we'll configure these settings. So we'll do that. Then you're going to go to the Amazon S3 storage. You're going to configure that. Then you're going to go to the file access settings. You're going to use the default. You're going to review and create. Then you finish doing the file share. At the bottom of the screen, note the command to mount the file share on Linux. We'll need it for the command. So this one. Okay, mounting the file. Then you're going to go to mounting the file. So for Windows, you're going to use, for mine, I'll use the one for Mac, which is fine, and Linux. Then you should connect. Then you're going to do that. Then you finish. Then you verify that the data has been migrated and see that the images are there. And they're very good. Oh, nice. I was just trying to review what we have before we leave. So before we leave the CA class or conclude it that day. So just the whole work is still here. File gateway. So after processing, go to allocated to and select cache. Yeah, it's fine, it's cache. Then configure, we have to wait 1 to 2 minutes. Then as we wait, we can check whether our instance has finished 2 out of 2 checks of the file gateway appliance. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So what are you told to wait for a minute? Wait for the file gateway status to change to running. It is running. File share. Create file share. Amazon, enter the name of the source, which was William Roth, if I'm not wrong, the source bucket. AWS region, US East 2, Ohio. Access objects using NFS, choose next. They have to type it. I thought I was supposed to select it. What am I using? So it was William Roth, right? William, what are you saying no to? I'm not getting you. Or that was some for time back. Was it some time back? I hope whatever you said no to, I wouldn't have known. I think I'm not getting the notifications coming through. I have to look at the screen. I'm looking at my second screen. Oh, sometime back, which is fine. Okay. I hope I was. So it is William Roth. I think I'm not putting any prefix there. AWS region access objects using NFS, which is fine. Are we changing anything else? Next, on the AWS storage, we're going to use the S3 standard. We're going to tick on MIME type as well as give the bucket owner full control. Then you're going to paste the FGWIM policy RN. You can retrieve by going to the details in the drop down menu. You show then FGWIM policy ARN value. Here it is. Next. So it is already ticked with an existing IAM role. Paste that, hopefully. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that is that. Paste details next. In the file access, accept the default. And then at the bottom, review create. Fine. But what am I going to do to mean my bookmarks? Bam, 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 bam. Next. I've been told to accept the default here. Next. Create. So what we've just done in the gateway, we created the file gateway. Then we now created a file share that references that. So it is updating. What am I supposed to do? mounting the file share. So I'm going to download. Oh, root dropped off a bit. Okay, back. We use the download the PM. We're almost done. So I'm doing download the PM. I'm going to call it we want to bin here, and I rename this one. I'm doing something on this other side, so you might not see it. I'm just renaming the watch, the PM file, the private key. Good, I'm done. I've gotten it. Now CD to downloads. Open my terminal. And I'm opening. Where the pro will happen. It's fine. I think the profile is for dope. So here's my terminal is stuck. That's stuck on the other side. It doesn't want to come before you. Let me force it. Minimize some crazy things here. Then I just open I'd opened crazy so many things on my primary screen. Just minimize them. Good. So I think I can now open this and I show you. Let me stop my share. Then I share again. So can you confirm you can see my terminal? See whether I can make this. Hope it's anyone who has issues with eyes now they can see. Confirm you can see it. Kindly confirm. Awesome, thank you. So I've changed my directory to downloads. I will now change the permissions to be read only for the key. And then I'll now SSH to the on-prem Linux server IP. So the public IP, I'll get it from the details section to save my time and to make my life easier. The public IP is here. So I'm in the EC2 instance. Okay. I'll now be able to ls to media data. I can see the pictures, 20 image files in PNG format. I'm going to create a directory for mounting to synchronize the data with the S3 bucket. So I'm creating a directory within mount NFS S3. Okay, I've done that. Then I'll mount the file share using the command that we located, which was located in the storage gateway file share details screen. So here I've found the command. Then what am I putting in the mount path? That is the other question. So S3 bucket name is fine. So the mount path is mmount NFS S3, which is here. So I remove that. Then I paste that. I think now the command is fine. Mount T NFS no log hard. That is the IP, private IP address for file share, which is fine. William Roth is the name of the bucket, and where we've actually created the synchronization folder. So we do the mounting. Oh, that's to start with sudo. Okay. So we're going to confirm, we're going to use the check on the host. So you can see it is here. Now that you have created the mount point, you can now copy the data that you want to migrate to S3 into the share. So I'm going to copy all that was within media data, everything as a PNG, and put it into that folder. So what is happening? IO error. Okay, maybe I'll sudo it. Let me just sudo. What the hell? First of all, I don't like seeing errors. They just get onto my face. Let me print my working directory. So what is the command really doing? You are in NFS. Didn't put it in mount NFS. Let me just do the DF again. I thought it has been mounted. Let me CD to CD to media data. So they are here. So I say CP am I going to get? How am I getting an IO error? Anyone knows an idea? Let me see. How am I getting an IO error? Is it that the mounting didn't happen well? The IP, the private IP, let me just check this. Let me just confirm the private IP. Private IP is 10.10.1.2.2.3. Let me just go to AWS and check on this. Now this for what? The file gateway. Yes, it is that one. 10.10.1.2.2.3. Let me just try something crazy. LCD to mount NFS S3, right? Then I just do a sudo nano wr.txt. See, I hope you will synchronize. And I hope I exit that and I see. You can see IO error writing. But there's an issue with that command. There must be an issue with that command. So you can see nothing can be written there. Let me just check another thing. Just exclude, then I say no. LSLA. There's no issues with permissions. Or NFS nobody, NFS nobody. What am I doing? Let me just CD to S3. Message. It should be the command. It should be that crazy command. Let me just check. Must be an issue with that. Oh, I shouldn't be here. Am I using the Linux one or the Linux? Let me just confirm something. Something that I'm having an issue. Uh-huh. I should use the Linux one. Should use the Linux one. Put it here. So I want to create another one. Just put two S's. Good. This one has root. Awesome. So I'll now do this. These are things that happen. So I'll have to copy the command again because I don't have the up arrow here now. Sudo mount. Then I use mount NFS SS3. Mount NFS SS3. And if I do a DFH, should be able to see it is here. Is it really here? Is the mounting not have happened? Anyways, so let's try to copy the files. Still getting that data issue. Anyone who has done it and not getting the data issue. So I can't. Oh, I'm doing the same kind of thing. This is SS3. Still getting the IO error, but I'll try to see what is the issue and try to resolve it. Can't imagine at the end of the lab is when I'm getting this issue. But it's fine. I'll just at the end of the lab because I need to copy the files to that. So this should be an error that is related to what has been mounted. I don't know whether you're putting the, but I'll check on it. I'll repeat the whole command and check on it. Anyways, let me share my screen again. Onto this. So I was supposed to look at the bucket in the Ohio region. Is here. And see that the files that are in that server, in that on-premise, have synchronized to the S3 bucket. I really don't know whether it is because of so this one should have been able to see files that were here, would have been able to see them there. So the only thing that I'm asking myself, did I need to put the ARN? Which is, if it's the ARN, do I have to put it like this? Or just write William root and it's fine? So that is what I'm really asking myself with regards to mounting. Or the issue is NFS. Did you do an NFS step? Was there an NFS step that we missed? On-prem Linux server, which I did. This is where I am. Once I'm there, I did all this. I connected. I saw the pictures. I created this folder. I did all this, unless I chose the wrong thing. Just copy this. Okay. But you know, I love to, I can't do the mount again, but I'll use another. I'll use the SS3. Let me try this on this other side. Is SS3. The S3 bucket name is William Ruth. Maybe I typed it wrongly. William Ruth. The other thing is the gateway IPv, the file gateway private IPv4 address might be here. Not here, but it's here. We finish this up. Okay, I'm just typing the IPv4 address on this other side. You might not see it because it's on my primary screen. Okay. Now typing the IP. Or maybe the issue was how we created the appliance, but it's fine. Okay. To type what? 10.10, 10.10.1.223. I'm creating another directory. I'm calling it S4, although there's nothing like S4, just to see whether it's going to work. Then I'm going to go to my VS, type the command and put S4. Then I go back to the terminal and see. Wow, okay, that one has worked. Let me see whether it's going to. Let me see whether it's going to copy. The command to copy is here. The command to copy files, it's here, but I'm going to use S4. I'm still getting that IO error. I don't know where I messed up, but it's fine. So let me just submit my work and see how much. I'm sure I'm not going to get the last part, so that it is value for the time that we've spent on that. Then I finish up with something, so that is a bittersweet ending to the CA class. I'm sure I'm not going to get the synchronization part of things. You can see that is why I've gotten 30 out of 40. So if I go to the report, image files were not copied to the file share. So file share configuration, I'll check on it, as well as the image. So file share configuration, let's look at the file share configuration it asks for and see whether we're going to get something there. Task 4, task 4, task 4. Storage gateway, GMT -5. Think file gateway appliance, t2.x large, voc key. I think we did all these, the security group. We chose that one, we chose that one. We added a new EBS volume. One file gateway, it was opened. Okay, the public IPv4 address and copy it. Did I copy the right public IPv4 address? Yes, it was this one, 254. And if you go to storage gateway, I don't like leaving things hanging. So now that ends with 254. Status unavailable, that is the reason. Why? Why is it not available? It file share settings, deactivate logging, S3, read write. Let's see what was happening in the file share settings. Why is it not available? gateway. S3 standard. It must be the issue of the ARN value. Do you see this value, this one which you are copying? That ARN value is where I think there's an issue. That is why I feel there's an issue. Okay, it is. It's fine. So you can see status is unavailable. So even the commands you are copying all clans are allowed. We delete this file share. Was William wrote, right? I think this way I didn't choose. It was what needed to choose or high. I needed to choose what or higher, right? Yes, it's true. Did I choose that? Nothing else needs to change here. Next, S3 is existing ARN. The ARN for the role is here. Hopefully the file gateway doesn't have issues. It's running. So let me try to run the command again here. Wow. Let's see. Means I'll have to do the CF on another session. Let's see. just got my other key. It is saying updating. Let me just refresh it. So what should I see after it is done? There is, yeah, good, available. Nice. So I do a DFA. Let's see whether it's still mounted. Good. So let me go to CP. We see the command to copy. Ah, nice. It has copied it. Let me just show you. Yeah, I was wondering what was the issue. Let me share my screen. Let me stop my share. Let me share again. So if you see this, you see that the files have been copied from media data to mount NFS. So once now all that has been done, I can also add another file, the one that I wanted to create. So I can just say sudo nano mount. Okay, I need to start with the slash mount NFS slash my file .txt. I say, I am happy I got this working. That's just to test. Then I close that and I save it. And I save it. You can see it has saved it. There's no issue now. Now let me, if I stop my share and I share again, on my other desktop here. Now, in my other screen, I should be able to go to S3. Yeah, just here. Go to objects. If I refresh, do you see the pictures are now here onto the S3 bucket? And if I go to the Ruth William bucket, because of cross-region replication, I should also see the pictures as well as my text.file. I should be able to see that, although I don't think it has appeared here. Let's refresh it again. Oh, I created it in sudo nfs, my file. So I should be able to save it as cp mount nfs my file.txt. That's why you should be able to learn some of basic my Linux commands, and I save it to mount nfs s3 slash my file.txt. Yeah. So if I ls mount nfs, I know you're not seeing this, but you should be able to see. I'm not seeing the file. So if I go to the bucket, the source bucket, which is William Ruth, open this, I should see my file.txt. I go to last modified. Do you see it is here? If I open it, although I can't see the contents from here, but if I download it, I should be able to see the same things that I wrote on that file. Even if I do open, do you see I'm happy I got this working? Nice. So I'm so happy that I did it. Obviously, I'm so, not only I'm just written that, but I'm also happy that it is now working. So that is how it is doing it. It is doing it from the, like, think of it like from the on-premise server, a server in an organization. It has now synchronized to a file gateway that has a file share, and now the file share is transmitting whatever is in the Linux on-premise Linux server, which was here. We were simulating that using the EC2 instance. It has now gone to an S3 bucket, and the source S3 bucket, because of cross-region replication, is also copying the same to another bucket in another availability zone. So the amount of disaster recovery planning that has been done there is top-notch, because even if the US, the Ohio region goes down, we have the other region. I think it was Oregon, if I'm not wrong. So you can see this was the one. And this file gateway appliance, the EC2 instance, which is a T2.x large, is doing that. That's why we're able to see all that happening. So if I submit again, I'll get all my marks. So the issue was that file share. Got the issue. You can see now it is available. And if we look at it, it doesn't have much, but this was the command you're using and everything. Yeah, so I did that, but the issue was the other file share. So this is working. Oh yeah, we didn't check, although it's still checked. We didn't check whether my file.txt has been saved in Ruth William. So let's confirm that I got all my marks. You see, awesome, 40 out of 40. So let's confirm that this William Ruth was in the Ohio region, US East 1. I mean the US East 1 availability zone. So if I go to Ruth William, which is the Oregon region, if I just scroll up, scroll down, that is, I see the file called my file.txt, which I created basically from my file. William, I believe you dropped off, but let me just repeat. I was able to solve the issue. I don't know whether you left it at where I didn't have I had an issue. So I'll stop my share and I'll share again, and then I'll share my screen. So you can see the command to copy now worked. There was no issue. This was the previous issue that we had, but now it was working. So if I create a file, sudo nano mount, this time I'll not forget, nfs s3, then I call it William Ruth.txt, William Ruth 2a.txt. Then I say we did it. Then I just save that file and I say yes, and I save it. You can see, and if I go to, if I long list that directory, that path, that directory in that path, nfs 3, I can be able to see the file that is here together with the 10 pictures. So we should expect this. You can see we are doing this within the on-prem Linux instance, and you can copy something from another. Think of it like you're saving things the way you usually do the backup. How does synchronization using Mega or Dropbox or whatever really work? It usually works almost in a similar way. So this is our file of interest. You should be able to see this file. So let me stop my share, then I share again on the other screen. So if I go to buckets and I start with the source bucket, has it appeared? Not yet. Let us refresh. Yeah, do you see it is here, William Ruth 2a.txt? And if I open it, You see, whatever I typed is here. And if I go to the bucket that has cross-region replication, that is Ruth William. You can see the file has also been copied. And let's say if I update it, let me just do something here. Let me just show you something crazy. Because you are finishing the course. I think I've shared the right screen. Are you seeing the command prompt? So let's say I take this, they say, instead of having it like that, just put our names first, William, Ruth, Kevin. Let me just do that. Then remember this is a new version. Do you remember we enabled versioning? So we've created a new version of that file. Let me stop my share. Then I go back to the bucket. So if I go to William Road and I say show versions, then I go to, maybe I scroll down. Let me see whether I'll find it here. Do you see what has happened? I'm having two versions. I'm having this one, and I'm also having a newer version of William Road 2A. So there are two versions. You can see that. So if I open this second one, and I open it. Okay, this one is the one that did have our names. Let me go back. Just open this. Do you see now this one has our names, right? Same case, and I'm sure that by default has been replicated in Ruth William in the other region. If I open it and I open it again, sure, we have it here. You can see that. So awesome, been able to do all that. And we have been able to plan for data migration using the storage gateway onto the standard class. Wow. So that is the wrap up. But let me just end the lab. It's always very important to end the lab. Save on resources. Once you're done, don't just close things to malamala. End the lab. And then that will tell me the things are terminating. And then because of time, it's already almost 11. Don't know what I'll promise my CF guys. Ruth, I hope this was a learning session. Also, William, very good
Definitely.
session. In case it was a learning session for me.
Yes.
On how to debug that whole issue. That one. Okay, if I open mine, the other one is going to be crazy. Any comment, William? Or did you try that lab? Okay, I hope you're not going to fall into the same pit that I fell into with regards to how it was crazy and I had to debug the file share. So if you look at this, let me just see what was left. Maybe Ruth, you can remind me. Kind of forget because he can really get the best of you. Did you do load balancing, I cannot know because these are posts that I'd already done, but I think we had gotten, this one doesn't have, the well architected framework doesn't have a what? Build a DB server. I think we did this one, right? I think I left Christopher to do one. I think I did the one for VPC, if I'm not wrong. I think for EC2, we done that one. Ruth, you can remind me if you can, if you reviewed the video. I think we also did, this one is VBS, right? Because it doesn't have so many labs. Build a DB server. And then I think the last one is auto scaling, which we also did in the CA class. This one, I think we did a bit of, it's there in the CA because there's an overlap, a bit of an overlap. C is just a bit foundational. I mean CF. This is what I usually avoid. That is why I don't like opening it from the tutor side of things. But let me just look at people as a best practice and see how many people are on course to finishing this course. Today's on date 26th. So 24th is not bad. 25th is not bad. 26th is also very good, which is, I think, today. This one is crazy. Same case to this one, same case to this one. But I'll give them some leeway up until next week and see. Maybe they're last minute, like all Kenyans are. I think the rest. Anyone who I've covered more hours than them, yet I'm not even looking at the course, is not serious. This one is crazy. 1 hour, 35 minutes. I'm feeling this is not serious. 12 days ago, this person forgot that they even did this. They even enrolled for a class. Don't enroll for interest. Why do people enroll things for interest's sake? Enroll for something so that you get something out of it and struggle to the end. It's like running a marathon, then you stop at 10 kilometers. You did not run a marathon. I don't know what you ran. Or running a sprint and a 100-meter sprint and ending it at 30 meters. I think that is that. Unless maybe I'll ask Ruth and any other person on CF, if there is any lab that you feel I should do or repeat, you'll tell me. Then you'll see how we can be able to run it through. I think that, will that be fine? So yeah, for cloud architecting, there's still a lot of work in the challenge labs, I'm sure. So like on my side, I can now say I've successfully completed, how many? Just completed 2. So if I go to modules, don't look at the knowledge checks. I'll do the knowledge checks, all of them at once. If you go to the guided lab on Statica website, we did it. The challenge lab, I've already done it. Knowledge checker still do it. Guided lab done. Challenge lab done for dynamic. RDS guided lab done. Challenge lab not yet. For me, that is. Guided lab done. Challenge lab not done for module 6. Module 7, guided lab done. No challenge lab, I think, on this part. Module 8 is all about challenge lab. I think this one is what, William, you said you had already done. Module 9, guided lab done. Challenge lab, not yet. Guided lab done. This, I think, is what we have done today. I think we did last time. Module 10. Module 11 is what we've done today. Guided lab done. I think there's no challenge lab here. Module 12 doesn't have anything much. Guided lab, this one you should challenge it. I'll try to see whether I can record a video of me doing this. And see, this one done. This is optional, you need not. So, but challenge lab also done. Not done, should be done. Then planning for disaster, guided lab done. Then bridging to certification is just how do you now move from the course that you've just done to getting to design. Let me just check this capstone project. Very important. I see it's part of what you should do. A capstone project really helps you to just put everything into perspective. Yeah, challenge lab, there's work to do. Sure. It's I know it's a lot, but I usually challenge myself. When every weekend I do like 3 or 4 challenge labs. So I can see this is a cloud architecting to capstone project. Then this environment is long-lived. Reserving a budget. Choose the README link. Deploy a PHP that runs. Create a database instance. Create a MySQL database from a structured query language. Update the application parameter in an AWS systems manager parameter store. Right. So this is the business case. We need to create this architecture. Launch template. Wow, good. So this is a good, nice project. I can't wait to get to it. It's a very nice. This now is going to really make you feel like you're doing. You're now becoming a solutions architect. So should do it, and you're done. You should submit and see how it will pan out. So I think considering the amount of work, I think I'll give it one more week for cloud architecting. So that means you'll still have 2 weeks from today. So you'll have the next week and then the other week. But for cloud foundations, it's just up to next Saturday, and I'll close it out for cloud foundations. But considering the work that needs to be done with cloud architecting, I'll extend it by 1 week. I think that is it, right? Isn't that fair enough, William? Yeah, sure, right? So that said, I think we can, don't forget to somebody to share these onto this. I usually sometimes forget. I can share the YouTube recording. And I think we can say we have done with the live sessions. In case of anything, you can always reach out to me directly. And then we can prepare. Let's get certified. Let's do this. Get our badges for our AWS Academy. Let's also get our badges. Let's follow up on certification. Those certifications are going to really help you in one way or another. Remember, when you complete, AWS gives you an opportunity to do the certification at 50% off. So if you are ready for that and you would like me to see how you can process that and request for that 50% discount, please always reach out to me. I think that is basically it, unless there's any question. Is there any question? Any question?
Hi,
Okay.
Kevin.
No question. I think I'll leave it at that.
Hi, Kevin. I don't know if you're getting me.
Question.
Mine is not really a question.
Please
I don't know if
ask.
you're getting me. Are you getting me from your side?
Ruth, you have a question? I'm seeing William saying you have a question.
Are you getting me from your side?
Okay. I'm not hearing anyone. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Having an issue. Let me just do this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm now hearing now.
Okay. Mine is not really a question,
okay,
but just maybe a compliment of the sessions.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The sessions have been very informative.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we've learned a lot, and maybe now at a personal level, I'll just reach out to you for some concerns. Sure. Yeah, I will be redoing the labs before maybe the weekends as well, so that I'm able to master everything well.
Sure.
And in case of any difficulty, I will reach out to you. But still, there's something I will reach out to you to just get a concern about.
Yeah, that's fine. Anytime if you require us to maybe do a one-on-one Zoom, we run a lab together, we run a challenge lab, or we run a project. That is something we can do. Personally, I'm usually into quality over quantity, as you can see. There's no one time, and I always start anything I say I want to start, I always finish it. I know it is always challenging when you say you are going to commit yourself every Saturday in the morning for 5 weeks to teach something, and or maybe to even come and learn yourself. Sometimes there are things that can come up, but you need to. There's an opportunity, because Ruth, you had a Thanksgiving for your sibling. You had to still come through. You didn't say like, okay, since I have this, I have to just, there's a lot of things you can say can come in the way. But still, like personally, I had an alumni meeting starting at around 9. But I said, this is important. I purpose to finish this, so I must make sure I do it. So same case, your commitment is very important, and I always reward commitment with matching it in the same way. I match your commitment with mine. So that is, I would like you. My happiness will be able to be seeing you share those badges on LinkedIn and say, I learned this over the last 5 weeks. I was able to do this. And again, those labs are not meant to be done once and for all. They are meant for your understanding. So William, same case, repeat the labs. Don't do it just once and think you have done it. Personally, like, there's something I've learned today. I didn't know about transcoder. Honestly, I rarely, when will I start setting up a transcoder to stream videos over in multiple bit streams or something of that sort? So there's something I've already learned. I didn't learn about disaster recovery with regards to using a file gateway and a file share. But the moment I've done it, I've been able to see how I'll be able to do it. And when you get to maybe like even the capstone project or anything that you're doing, the open-ended learner labs, try to see how you can get a business case and try to create a solution for it. Another business case, try to see whether you can read a business case, because that is where the skills are. Get to see a business case where somebody wants a streaming service. Maybe there are people that are content creators, right? And they want, instead of just having them on YouTube, they have something like a vlog, or maybe whatever they would really want, or a high availability application. Try to see how can you convert a business case into a solution on AWS, right? Because the moment you do it on AWS, you can do it on any cloud provider, because the concepts are pretty much the same. So that is the way you now move from just being a person who can do labs step by step to somebody who can now deliver a solution to our customer, a solution that is following the well-architected framework. It is secure, it is reliable, it is cost optimized, it is secure, right? All those kind of things. Have you put them into perspective? So that is I'm so happy that all you are here, and you say you learned something. Don't forget, once you're done, post it, tag me on LinkedIn, share your learnings. If you want to come up with a blog or something of that sort of what you've learned so far, it really helps you. It really helps people know out there what you've done. Nobody would have known you've spent 3-4 hours today to be on this call. But when you post it somewhere, it will always be there. Sometimes you go apply for a job, they say, oh, you did an AWS Academy, like a sprint crash course or something of that sort. For example, like I think William, we partnered with William to buy a course on Udemy. So, and we want to now, at the end of it all, once you use the course, you use what you have in AWS Academy, and we also do a number of practice exams. We get certified. We tag those people who have gone a long way into making sure our success is there, becoming SA certified and SAP certified. But again, it's not about the certifications. The certifications mean nothing if you can't deliver a solution by looking at a business case. So that is what I would advise you. There are so many business cases. AWS Academy has gone the lengths. There's also what we call the skill builder and the educate. Ruth, if you haven't done the Cloud Quest, I would advise you do it. I've even heard that it has been revamped in terms of looks. So I'll try to see whether I can now repeat the whole Cloud Quest myself in the new interface. Although the other versions of Solutions Architect and Specialty and Machine Learning of the Cloud Quest are under the paid subscription, but that is fine. We'll see I'll see whether I'll be able to afford it in the future, but I don't want to do it right now. So that said, and always be ready to invest, because don't just wait for free. You might be asking, okay, Kevin, why are you charging us this time? And last year in November it was free. No, because sometimes you need that motivation. Say, okay, these guys, not only did they just invest their time, they also invested a part of their money that they could have used for something else. They could have fed their child or something of that sort. I need to get to that class, right? So for this cohort, I said, okay, let me just be philanthropic enough. Let me not charge any commitment fee. Let me just get people get to see how committed people are. And you can see the reason why somebody like Christopher is very serious this time. He paid the commitment fee in the last cohort, didn't finish it. I removed him from that course. I usually don't care whether you paid or not, because if you don't finish, that is how it works. If you don't finish, that course is ended, and there's no way you can come back to it unless in another cohort. So same case for even all of you. If after next Saturday, Ruth, you haven't finished, that is done. Same case for William. If you don't finish it within the next 2 weeks, that is done. Let's meet in another cohort. So that is how academy works. It's just like campus. You cannot say, like, just because people got to 4th year and you did not get there, they wait for you up until when you get 4th year so that you graduate all together. No, they'll graduate and leave you there so that until when you're going to done. And that is how the academy the academy format works, but the others are self-paced. But the reason why I don't really purpose on much of self-paced is because you cannot be learning about cloud practitioner for like 2 years. Doesn't make sense. That's something you should get done and over with within a month or two. Self-paced, sometimes if you are you don't have the discipline for it, you actually waste a lot of time. You say, okay, you study for like 10 minutes, to get distracted, you get out of there, you even leave it running, or maybe the videos are running or something of that sort. But when you're in a class where you need to be accountable for your time, you need to be accountable for your learnings as well as the labs that you undertake, you realize that the only person you'll be cheating is yourself when you're not having the completion mindset. And also not just completing and understanding and moving on to the next. Then you go the full length. You study, and don't study right now, then you start trying to look for certification 3 years to go. There's what we call, is it subconscious? The e-memory karibu, something of that sort. It starts fading away the moment you stay too long. So that is why you should always keep learning, keep practicing, and even put your solutions or something in GitHub. If you've created a YAML file, put it on GitHub. You might use it. If you've created a CloudFormation template, put it there. If you've set up a serverless pattern or a code from a Lambda function, Python code, whatever it is, save it somewhere. You might need it, not only for future, but it can also be a thing to show you that you understand what you're doing. So that said, I think we can leave it at that. See me when I see you. We can consult each other at any point in time. You're also welcome at 2 p.m. We'll be, as Team Shakes, we're going to be presenting at the monthly AWS Kenya user group session. So we'll be talking about the innovation that we did during the AWS Impact Plus hackathon that was held in Strathmore last, I think, in October. So we're going to just talk and discuss what it takes to be part of a hackathon, and what our experience was. The people who are going to be there, we just met on that day, and we did something, and we ended up number 3 in that hackathon. And you're going to just share what really made us number 3. Yeah, and maybe it might be something helpful, because you're going to relate that to the real world scenario and how things really work there. So you're welcome. It's going to be at 2 p.m. Over Zoom, 2 to 3 p.m. Yeah, after that, I'll be having a fellowship, room fellowship, the room, for those who know ALX, the room fellowship community town hall. Then I'll also be having an Atlassian event in the evening. Yeah, so that's it. So you're welcome. If you don't have the link, I think I'll reshare it, and then you'll see me next. You have a nice Saturday so far. Let me get on to the next phase of the day, and have a nice week. Thank you.